If you are struggling with Etsy's new rules and how you can't just download something off of Creative Fabrica and then use it, I'm here to help. One, you shouldn't be doing that anyways. I've taught you better than that, unless you're new to the channel, and then you'll learn today. We should always be using anything that we download from the interwebs as an element in our overall design, and not as is, not as a whole. And I know this is confusing because of Creative Fabrica's rules. So I want to tell you a little something that I think maybe a lot of people haven't thought of. So first off, what we want to do is we want to look at Creative Fabrica's licensing. I think this is where a lot of people are having a hard time. All right, so we're on Creative Fabrica right now. And just right here, if you were to click on POD, which is where I tell everyone to go, this is when a designer like myself, all of these are from different designers, okay, that have opened digital shops. So what they've done is they've basically just opted in to selling via this print-on-demand license. They're saying, yeah, that's okay. And so they go into this section, all right? So it says right here, with full POD, you have access to our ever-growing library of designs and fonts, ready to be used directly into your print-on-demand store. So it says you can go literally copy paste basically, okay? Now they have 2 print-on-demand licenses. You can go into that in more detail if you click on one of these. So we click on this. Cute design, by the way. And then click right under here where it says commercial and full print-on-demand usage. And then you can access their licenses here. But essentially, if you have full print-on-demand access and you have an active subscription, you can use a file, a digital file as is without changing anything, okay? Right here. Now, you cannot do that on Etsy anymore, all right? And that doesn't mean that you can't necessarily do that on other websites, but you cannot just pay attention to the rules and regulations on the site that you are purchasing from. You also have to pay attention to the terms and conditions and licensing and all of that on the platform that you're selling on. And each one is going to have something different. So like myself, I sell on Creative Fabrica, I sell on Redbubble, I sell on Teespring, and I sell on So Fancy, I sell on Design Bundles, and I sell on Etsy. Okay, that's a lot. That's 6 different websites. And all 6 have different terms and conditions, different licensing, all the things, and different rules. You have to know the rules of the platform that you are selling on, okay? Because it's not your own separate website. If it was your own website, you know, like digitalartbyashley.com, if I put something up there, I get to decide how it's used. I get to. But if I am putting my designs on a platform or my print-on-demand merch on a platform, then I have to follow the rules of that platform, okay? So you're following the rules of wherever you get your designs, if you're not making them yourself, obviously, and then you're following the rules of the platform that you're selling on, all right? So make sure that you understand that you need to comply with both of those. Now, getting to Etsy specifically, Etsy released their new laws and all the things that everyone is talking about all over the place. I know I'm late to the party, but I figured everyone else already touched on it, right? So my portion that I wanted to touch on was the design aspect, and I will pop a little blurb up here somewhere so that you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. But essentially, they're saying that you cannot download this design and resell it digitally or put it on merch or a t-shirt, etc., through print on demand and then sell it as is. You also cannot make things in-house. So you cannot download this and then use your DTF printer and then make a shirt and then sell that on Etsy either. Same difference. You cannot take an as-is design and then sell it on anything in any way on Etsy anymore. And that's because they want you to still have a handmade aspect. And I actually think that's great. I think it's wonderful that Etsy is trying to get a little bit back to its handmade, and not because I have anything against drop shippers or AI or anything like that, because I'm just not one of those people who really care about those things. But Etsy having that reputation of handmade is what keeps a lot of people going to the website. And so if it just turned into an Amazon or a Walmart, then it kind of loses its competitive edge. You know what I mean? What I want to do now is kind of do some sleuthing. All right. So we're going to do some searching, and I'm going to show you the people who are not doing it right and what Etsy is saying no to. Now, just because they're still live and they haven't been in trouble or flagged or taken down doesn't mean that it's okay. All right. So I need you to really, really hear that. There are a lot of people out there that are like, well, everybody else is doing it, so I'm going to do it too. And one, ew. I just hate that. I don't hate anybody, but I really hate that mindset, because that just sounds like, if everybody else jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge? You know what I mean? It sounds like that. Like, are we in elementary school? No. So I don't like that mindset. It's not easy for them to go through and just shut down hundreds of thousands of listings. Okay, it's not. Do I wish they had used some sort of AI for good to basically just grab them and pop them out? Sure I do. Maybe they will eventually, but there's always going to be somebody doing things wrong that's making money off of it. Like, it sucks for the people who are doing things right, because, you know, like the people who are selling Disney or something like that, like, of course they're racking in the sales. They didn't have to do anything. Disney did all the work, and all they had to do was list Mickey. That's it. You know, Disney did all the work for years and years and years of hyping it up and letting everybody fall in love with Mickey. And then all you had to do was go and post a little Mickey t-shirt, and of course it's going to sell. Of course, duh. So there's always going to be people that are going to break the law. They are. They're just, it's always going to happen. Okay. But you're not going to be that person, because you're not lame and because you're way cooler than them. So let's do some sleuthing. Oh, before we do, actually, let me show you an example first, and then I'll get into that, because I want to make sure I do a little disclaimer. Okay, so here we are on Etsy, and all I did was type in Halloween PNG, super broad, okay? And I can see that we have a number of different designs here. We have all of these different designs all over the place. Some of these are so cute. If you're not designing for Halloween already, get busy. I have been in my Halloween era lately, just having so much fun. So you can see all of these different types of designs, okay? So what I did is I went to Creative Fabrica, and I found a design that I figured we'd probably find on Etsy as well. So this is an example of what not to do. So we have this item right here, and if we scroll down, we can see the designer's name. The designer of this is Tiny Big Studio, okay? And there is a chance, this is the disclaimer I wanted to go over. There's a chance, okay, because I do this sometimes as well, that this designer right here, the shop owner, Tiny Big Studio, has decided to create this design and then also run on Etsy or somewhere else a print-on-demand shop as well using her same design. That's allowed. That's legal, because she created the design. That person, the person that creates the design, can do whatever they want. So for instance, if I created this planner design right here, I'm allowed to sell this as a digital paper on Creative Fabrica, and then also sell this notebook on Etsy as a print-on-demand product, because I designed this, so I can do whatever I want with it. Okay, so there's a chance that the examples that we find today are an example of that. So I don't want you to automatically assume that that's not the case, but 90% of the time, that is not the case. So we are going to use these as an example, as what not to do, and we are assuming, I know people always say don't assume, but for this we have to, for the example. We are going to assume that these people downloaded a design from here and then just simply uploaded to Etsy. Okay, so these are the examples. So just wanted to put that out there. And okay, so here we have a design, and this design we can now find on Etsy right here. Okay, so this person is now selling this, what I assume is print on demand, but they could be making it in-house. It really doesn't matter. This is the same exact design as this one right here. And what they're doing is they are selling it now on a sweater. Okay, now it doesn't look as if this is the same person. So again, we're just going to assume that these are separate people. We have the designer, and then we have the person who purchased it, downloaded it from here, and then just copy paste, basically put it on a sweater, and is now selling it for $32.24. All right, this is not allowed. You cannot do this. And you shouldn't do this. This is the part that frustrates me so much, and why I said that some of you are being naughty. If you are frustrated by Etsy's rule, then in my opinion, you're being kind of naughty, because you shouldn't be doing that anyways. And I've always said from the beginning of time that you should make changes. You should use elements, okay? So for instance, let's say this person who created this, let's say she bought these elements. We're going to assume this isn't hand-drawn. I have no idea. Okay, everything in this is kind of having to be assumed so that we can give examples. So let's say she bought a pack of little ghosts, okay? And then she also has these florals somewhere. And then she also found this checkered. 3 separate things. And then she compiled them in a way to create her own design. That is allowed. That is what you should be doing, okay? So when she did that, she potentially did everything correct. And then this person, instead of doing that on their own, just bought it and put it on a sweater. Well, that's not fair, because that's not going to meet any handmade policy specifically for Etsy, because you didn't do anything at all. Like, you didn't do anything in the creation of this. So Etsy wants a handmade touch. So you would have to have been the person to put the different elements together. You would need to create something different. So now what I want to do is, using this same example, I want to show you how people have been using this in a proper, ethical, morally respectful way. All right. So now we go back to Halloween over here. We go back to Halloween, go back over here. And I want to show you the people who kind of, let's just say that this one came first. Again, I don't know. Okay. So if anybody on here is like the maker or the creator of these things, I'm just using it as an example, no shade. Okay. But let's say this person created theirs first. All right. So then this person here took that as inspiration to make their own, right? So we have the checkered, we have these floral daisy types. The colors are a little bit more muted, and then we have a skull. Super cute. Look, it's popular now, but they didn't just copy that. They created their own. They used it as inspiration to create their own. All right. Now, if we scroll down, we're going to see another one right here. Again, popular now. So you can tell like this design style is trendy. So it's one that's great to get into. We have the checkered, we have the daisy flowers, we have that kind of interesting, I don't even know what you would call it as far as tones, maybe like 70s muted, I don't know. And then we have a pumpkin, all right? Again, on the same darker shirt. So I am kind of seeing that trend. Scrolling down, we're gonna find another one. Right here. This one is my favorite, actually. So we got the checkered, we got the daisies now. Instead, they're going all the way around. We've added some leaves. And then we have like kind of like an outline slash silhouette of a cat and a witch. Love this design. But you see how they took the, I don't want to say, I hate saying this because I really don't know. But again, we're just assuming. They're taking inspiration from a design like this. They didn't just add it to their cart. They didn't just download and then upload it on a print-on-demand shirt and then sell it. That's not going to be allowed. It's just not. But to create this, I mean, how hard would that be? Let's go to create, well, we're on Creative Fabrica, okay? So keep in mind, we need checkers, we need some daisies, and we need a ghost, right? So let's say we were recreating that. We could go checkered and just put checkered in, honestly, and it's probably enough. Okay, so we have all these different checkered PNGs. A lot of these you can change the color. But we have all these different things that we could use for the checkered portion of the design. Okay, so there's done. So we could maybe download this one here. Then we can say ghost PNG. All right, so we could scroll down. It might actually be better if we were to choose bundle. So over here, let's click on bundle. All right, so we could go through here and we could find some ghost PNGs or some ghost graphics that we would want to use for ours. Now, obviously, there's hundreds of thousands. Ghosts are just popular all the time, but you could type in retro ghost. You could type in sheet ghost. Like, these would be really cute. Okay, so let's say it's this one right here. It's not, but let's say it was. You could grab that one right there. So there's another bundle. Okay, and you have all these ghosts in that bundle. So now we have a checkered bundle and we have a ghost bundle. So now all we need is our florals. So we could say retro daisies. Is it daisies like that? I don't think I've ever typed that word. Okay, so now we can find retro daisies. So this is even cute. That could add something totally different. So you grab some of these, do it like that. There's some of these. There's all different types of retro daisies. These are more of the style that we're looking for, but again, we could use that. We could even use AI to generate some for us, okay? So you can see like just 3 different bundles, and we could then put things together and create our own version, right, of this. But what I'm saying is that you can't just grab this, download it, and then upload it. It's just not going to work. You have to use Creative Fabrica as pieces. Think of them as pieces of the puzzle, pieces of the overall puzzle. You can't just buy the puzzle and then sell a puzzle. It's just not going to work, okay? You have to get elements. So let's do this again. We're going to go back to Halloween. All right, so I wanted to try to find a few more examples of the exact design being used, but I don't want to end up calling out a whole bunch of people just because there's no way for me to really know who came first, okay, and all that. But let's just continue on so I can show you kind of who's probably doing things correctly. So if we see this one right here, you see how this is a really cute design. I love that they made it kind of coquette-y because they've added a bow, which we all know coquette's huge. This stamp style is pretty big, and then they're also using the grid. Like all around, this is a genius idea. I can see why it's popular. All right, so what they could have done is they could have gone to Creative Fabrica and grabbed a bundle like this one here, 52 vintage Halloween stamps, okay? And then maybe they just decided to put them together the way that they did. So let me just go through these, get an idea of what's here. Now, I have no idea if they use this or not. I didn't like go through and try to find the exact stuff. But the point is they could have downloaded this bundle and had all of these stamps and then creatively thought to put them in a grid with a bow to make this a popular or best seller. So you see how they didn't necessarily purchase this whole design off of a website like Creative Fabrica. They instead took elements from a place like Creative Fabrica to create something like this. Again, same thing over here. Now you could find a Halloween bundle, a Halloween clip art bundle that's like this, that has this kind of vintage vibe. And then they just created a collage. All right, totally fine to do that. Scrolling down, we kind of have that same thing. We could have, I actually just downloaded a bundle that has a few things that look just like this, but they put it together in a certain way. You could choose to make a grid or do something else with it, but they chose to do it this way. Now, this design here, really popular. This almost, it's giving me like a holographic type of vibe. I'm not really sure what we're calling this. It doesn't really say anything except like trendy, but this is in 20 carts, okay? $1.93, it's in 20 carts. It's a bestseller, clearly doing well. It doesn't look like it's updated because it's brand new. So we don't really know how many sales there have, but we could assume with 714 views and it's in 20 carts that it's selling pretty dang well for them. So if we went to Creative Fabrica, you can see that we have a design very similar right here. Now it's not the same design, but you could see how similar it is. So let's go, I think it's this one right here. So we'll just kind of flip back and forth. So we have a ghost one, pumpkin, cat, haunted house. So ghost, pumpkin, cat, haunted house, spooky season, okay? So if we go here, we have ghost, pumpkin, cat, haunted house, spooky season. So you see how they're very similar, but they did it different. Now, I don't know who came first. It doesn't really matter, but you can tell that they have kind of taken inspiration from the same thing. I mean, it's literally the exact same layout. Ghost, pumpkin, cat, haunted house. So if we go back to this one here, we can even see that this one has 5 stars. And it also, see how many people have added it to favorites. This is how you can kind of see how popular it is on here. You can't see how much these people are making on Creative Fabrica, but if it has 729 people that have added this to the favorites, it's doing quite well. People are downloading this like a mofo, okay? So let's go back, and we're just going to stick in Halloween. I'm going to give you another look-see. Look, see, this person did kind of a similar thing. Now, this is copyrighted. You can't do this, so I guess I shouldn't even show that. But this shouldn't be allowed at all because those are copyrighted images from Hocus Pocus. This one right here, there's a bunch of people doing things like this where they will take one design and put it over here. Now, I'm not saying that they got it off of Creative Fabrica, but this is something that you shouldn't do. So let's say that it's a clip art image. So we'll go to, let's see, we have a ghost and a cat and some florals. So if we go back here, we can say ghost with cat. Let's see if anything comes up. So we have quite a number, and I might just even be putting it in wrong too, but what you wouldn't want to do is you wouldn't want to grab, like, let's say it was its own image and it was already like that. So if we go back to, I'm getting all lost here, right here. If we go to this one here, and if somebody just grabbed just one PNG from Creative Fabrica, so we'll go, getting a little jumbled. So let's say this was that same one. If they just downloaded that and uploaded, you can't do that, okay? But if they did, find the right one, Ashley. Okay, if they have the ghost and then they added the cat or the cat and the bats or the flowers, if they compiled this into their own, then that would be allowed. So I hope it's starting to make sense. If you take the elements and put it together, allowed. If you take the one element, the one download from Creative Fabrica, and then upload it, not allowed. Make sense? Let me give you an example of one I just created. I'm going to go ahead and open it. Okay, so here's an example of one I put together yesterday. Let me just make it a little bigger for you. All right, so I put this one together yesterday. So what I wouldn't be allowed to do was, let's say this whole design was on Creative Fabrica. I cannot just download that and then upload this to my shop as a digital file or as a print-on-demand product or anything else. I would have to make some major changes for me to be able to do that. But instead, what I did is I didn't draw any of this, actually. Wait, did I draw this? I might have drawn the outer thing. I don't remember if this one was mine or not. But what I did was I took everything and I had a different element. So this is an element, this one, these books are an element. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this is a compilation of 13 different elements that I have downloaded and put together and created a design. This is allowed because you had your own hands on it. It's your own creativity. Okay, so I hope that this helped kind of clear things up. No matter what the rules are on a website, whether you can use something as is or not, just don't, okay? If you got to think about it like this, if you can go to a website like Creative Fabrica and download that file and then upload it on a different website to sell, then who's stopping Shelly and Brad and Chad and Megan and Ashley from doing the exact same thing and posting it in the exact same spot? Nothing is. It just doesn't make sense to do something like that. Regardless of legalities, it makes no sense long-term for you to do that. Just make it your own. If you have a hard time of making things your own, just start slow, okay? Practice. Don't even do it for the sake of selling it. Just practice. Sometimes I will just download a bunch of different bundles because I think the stuff in there is really cute. And then it'll help me even draw my own. And then I'll kind of put my stuff with someone else's stuff and I'll create something all the way new. But sometimes it's just fun to design for the sake of designing, not even selling. So I encourage you to try to, if you are not a designer and not somebody who's drawing from scratch, I really encourage you to play around. If you have the Creative Fabrica membership, which if you have any membership that has to do with design, it should be that one because you get the most for your money. There's a link in the description box below for a free trial and you get 10 free downloads, I believe. You should get bundles because that's the best deal, obviously. But if you are someone who has access to that, what you want to do is you want to download and you want to play around. Get used to just putting different elements from different packs together. It doesn't have to all be from one bundle. You know, you can get a ghost bundle from one designer and then maybe a checkered bundle from another designer or whatever. Just kind of get used to it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to click the bell so that you get notified every single time I post a video. Please subscribe if you haven't. Most of my viewers are new. And I would love for you to be someone who comes back because that's nice. Because then I get to have like conversations and we get to like build a community type thing. And I love that. Also, if you've made it this far, if you could do me a favor, I want to know what was your first video that called you to my channel. I'm trying to get an idea of what topics I should really hone in on my channel. I make money passively doing a lot of different things, and I would really like to know what things resonate with my audience the most so that I can make more of that content and not steer off onto a path that nobody's really looking for, okay? So if you came to my channel for the first time today, then I would assume Etsy and Creative Fabrica, all of that is kind of your vibe. So let me know. If you originally came to my videos because of a KDP video, let me know. If it was just Etsy, let me know. If print on demand, whatever it was that brought you to my channel originally, please, if you wouldn't mind, take the time to just write me a little comment that just tells me what brought you to my channel in the first place so that I can kind of compile that and decide what types of content to make you guys further. So I love you guys so much. Go out there, go design a life you love, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.